Hi, this is Capone De Leon with the Better Texas Online TV, and we are here at the Retro Rebel Fest. And I'm here with Joel from Retro City, and we are having an amazing time. We got to meet, I got to meet one of my heroes from the past, right?
Awesome.
The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's the energy they have. Yeah, everybody's so excited about the movie and what it means to them.
Yeah.
So it just reminds me how great of a film I was involved with, you know? Yeah, and sometimes the children watch the movie, so it's kind of a family thing.
Mama-san, Papa-san, Richie-san, Lotus.
It is kind of a different thing when you create something that for generations.
Yeah, that's the thing that seems to be the most powerful. I didn't expect it to be like that, you know, years later. I was 19 when I did it.
God help me if I ever have to use my art.
May God help me if I ever have to use my art.
Conscience is our guide.
Conscience is our guide.
Peace is our shelter.
Peace is our shelter.
Beauty and perfection is our life.
Today, a guy came, drove 4 hours. Another woman came dressed as one of the characters, Angela Baracco from The Last Dragon. She came, you know. She was great. She was. There you go.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
You know? So it's, you know, you get as an actor, as a performer, you get an opportunity to impact people's lives in a positive way. So.
All right, Leroy, who's the one and only Malcolm?
I am. And so, is this something you're going to be coming to the next year's events?
Sure. I mean, of course, I'm a freelance person. I've got a lot I'm working on now. I had an injury that was very difficult for many years. Now it's coming together. I'm getting better now. So there's a lot going on. You know.
I'm sure you can't tell me, but I heard maybe a part 2.
Well, the original writer has developed some graphic novel and other things that create more potential for something to happen.
Taimak is he's really awesome.
He's cool.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, we used to watch the movies, you know, and then we'd go do karate afterwards. Me and my brother, you know, trying to get the glow, you know. it never happened, but we didn't have that inner speed, right?
Yeah.
Because I definitely would have.
He inspired a lot of people just through that movie. I mean, I've seen so many people comment. He inspired me to train, to lose weight, and he's when you talk to him one-on-one, he's very down to earth and very people's person. Yo,
man, she got the cornball.
He ain't no cornball. He's my brother, and he's the master.
I've talked to everybody out here, and they all say that this is a great event. They had a great turnout, and they're all excited for next year's event, ready to come back out.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, if they'll have us, we'll be back. No doubt.
I think it's great, man. I think it's really good. You know, we got a lot of cool vendors, got a lot of cool people.
I'm enjoying it. It's got a lot of people coming at the store. I mean, the event. Really like it a lot. It's first time.
Oh, I love this stuff. I love the event. I love retro. I love Star Wars, sci-fi, superheroes, you name it. I'm there.
How long have you been doing events like this?
Been doing this for about 2 years. This is probably our third one we're doing. We had one at a ballroom by Roanoke Mall. Now we had like Ghostbusters. We had Ninja Turtles out there. RCW was out there, Killer Clowns, and it was a real good turnout. The one before that one, we had the DeLorean out there, and it was just so that car was beautiful. And this is our third one, you know, and we love the celebrities. The vendors are so awesome. Everybody was just so down to earth. The vibes were just so like everybody was just having fun. We're all, you know, we all relate. You know, we see each other with shirts, and we just start talking, and people are playing the retro arcade video games, and I had one guy. He literally almost cried because he got a vintage toy from his childhood that he's never seen, and he was like, "Man, you know, thank you so much." And you know, I said, "Don't thank me, thank the vendors. They're the ones that bought it." You know, but we all just come together. We're just one happy family. You know, vendors and promoters. We all work together, and we do it for the people. You know, it's I have fun doing it. You know, it's a passion. You have to have passion. You know.
Yeah, that's what we hear from a lot of the people. We're talking, doing interviews, and mostly what we would hear is we'd ask them about their passion and where they came from, right?
Yeah. So I'm a teacher by trade. So during my summers and holidays, I was out shopping, and it kind of caught up with me. So I actually started eBay at first, and then I went into a storefront because I just had a lot of inventory. So yeah, and I've been in for 2 years so far as a storefront.
I think I've been watching movies probably since the early 80s, probably maybe back when I was maybe 11 or 12 years old. Even before that, you know, my parents got me into watching movies and just watching it as a kid. And Saturday nights, parents would take me to the video store before Blockbuster was around, before any Hollywood video, go to the mom and pop shops and hit up the scary section and rent all these movies.
Yeah, that's kind of cool that people are so passionate about that. My son, he's big time into the comics and everything like that, and Star Wars, huge Star Wars fan. So that's the important thing for the generations that are able to connect.
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably spent more than I made here at these events. You know, I mean, at most events, you always spend so much because you see so much just nostalgia. You're just like, I have to have it. Yeah. You know, you see like the Nintendo, the Sega, the Killer Clowns, Jason stuff. I mean, Star Wars, vintage toys, G.I. Joe. I mean, everything. VHS tapes. I mean, Blockbuster video. It's just all nostalgia and just it brings people to a happy place. That's the main goal of why we do this, or I do this. It takes you away from the world for a minute, and it takes you back to a childhood time when you were happy with the toys, the video games, the movies, the cartoons. So that's my passion. When I see people happy about that, they already paid it off.
That's it.
You know. So yeah. So
I had a time interviewing the Blockbuster manager.
Yeah.
And that me and my kids were just talking about that. How they don't experience. They don't know. When we were kids, we would go with our parents to the Blockbuster, get the movie. You know.
Yes.
It was a whole deal. You know.
Yeah. I mean, Sandi Harding. She's very, very nice, and I'm very grateful that they came all the way down from Oregon to attend the event. So they're great. They're very great.
Okay, so once we get in here, we got like 30 seconds, which is actually longer than I always give it, but to get back in the back room. Yeah, I mean, it's every day is a challenge. I mean, honestly, and even though we became the last one, which was huge for us, and we gave us the nostalgia piece, and we have tourists come and visit, and then the movie came out, the documentary, which people don't realize was actually filmed by a local Bend crew, and then Netflix picked it up from them. But that put us to a whole nother level of tourism, a whole nother level of people coming to visit us, and all that kind of stuff. So all of those things have helped. But even we weren't immune to the effects of the pandemic. There movies coming out in Hollywood. There's not any movies for me to buy to put on my shelf. So luckily we have all of this stuff that we're very proud. We actually have it made in Bend. It's sourced, like obviously the keychains aren't made in Bend, but we source it through another small father and son team and buy it from them. And so we're very proud of that. So, Bend has supported us all of these years. When the movie came out, we had so many online orders, we couldn't keep up. And everyone pulled together. Everybody was printing stuff for us. Everybody was, volunteering their time to come in and fill orders. I mean, it was quite a community thing to help us get everything accomplished. So now that's kind of our way of giving back. So we were able to come down here. We were invited to come down. That's, the second time we've actually come to a convention, but the first time we've done anything like this. And it's been very fun. Texas has been great. I've been to Texas before, never to San Antonio. It's my husband's first time to Texas. Everyone's been very kind. Lots of great food recommendations, so we've got that covered. And it's just, an adventure for us every day.
It's crazy to think that I do this, right? Never thought in a million years I'd be pulling computers apart as a part of my job description.
Because they are so old, we don't have excessive amount of parts, and so I'm constantly Frankensteining things back together and going in the back room and digging out a part that I forgot that I had to try to put the computers back together.
Well, so we, when Corporate Blockbuster was bought out of bankruptcy by Dish Network, and so we had a franchise agreement, and now we have a licensing agreement instead. So we re-sign that every year. So yes, we have rules that we have to follow. We re-signed our licensing agreement in September instead of November this year, so we could add that we could come and do this sort of thing outside of the store. So we can't just walk up to a building and say, hey, we're going to put another Blockbuster in here. We do have someone we have to answer to. And I think we get people all the time calling about wanting to do that. I've had people call and want to make Blockbuster the musical. I mean, I've had people call me about all kinds of crazy ideas and some really good ideas, but we don't get the final say. So if there's something that we want to do that's outside the parameters of a normal rental Blockbuster business, we have to reach out to Dish Network. But there's not a division of Dish Network. You can't just call them up and you're going to talk to somebody that works for Blockbuster. I literally talk to an accountant and an attorney. And those are the two people that I work with at Dish Network to help answer my questions. Yeah. And they're super great.
Licensing.
Yeah, and we're just licensing it. But we've been Blockbuster for, over 20 years. So even though it's not the same traditional franchise agreement, it's still the same thing. So, yeah.
America's family video store. We have more kids' videos than any place else. More movies, more nights, more fun.
And you're right, everybody's streaming. And at first, our niche was that we had all the older movies and people could come in. Now our niche is that we have all of the movies. So now, when Netflix first came out, it was Netflix and that was it. And then Hulu came out, then Amazon Prime. And now every single studio, Warner, Paramount, everybody has their own streaming services. So if you're going to do a streaming service, you're going to have 5 or 6 different streaming services to find everything you want to watch. So now those cheap $10 a month Netflix subscription you had is now $70, $80 worth of things. So I think that a lot of people are finding, at least wise in our community, that you can still come in and find what you want here, and you don't have to thumb through a bunch of different streaming services to find it. So we kind of are going back to where we're relevant again for some people, but it's also the nostalgia piece. Everybody, during the pandemic, we really all were forced to stay at home, all forced to kind of remember what it was like to be a family and do family stuff together and maybe not be on our phones all the time. And one of the things people remembered was going on Friday and Saturdays and renting movies. And so we give them the opportunity to come visit us and to re-experience that. And I mean, let's face it, who doesn't love movies, right? It doesn't matter what genre. You can like horror movies, action movies, comedies, dramas that make you cry. Everybody loves movies. So we give them that opportunity to relive that with their kids who do not know what it's like to not have internet, that do not know what it's like not to be able to just stream something on their phone.
Movies were all the same, the vibe was the same, it was still a mom and pop video store, just with the branding. Like, that's really all it was. So it's really easy to be like, corporate, but like, if you really think about it, this Blockbuster has been a mom and pop video store for over 20 years.
And the funny thing is that when we first got married, Brad worked at a local mom and pop video store, and then we moved to another community. He worked at a Blockbuster, and so for a short amount of time. So we've always had movies and Blockbuster kind of in our lives. So our kids have always grown up with it too.
Well, and our kids have worked there. Kids have worked at Blockbuster too. All of the kids have worked there. So it's it's been something that's just kind of a happenstance, but it's always been, we've always been like a movie family, so, yeah.
Trivia is fun at our house.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well, it's Saturday. It's not as full as it is on Mondays.
Yeah, I do a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. I move a lot of boxes around, and I don't work on the floor, but if something needs to be moved or
if he's
cleaned
on
out,
vacation.
right? Yeah, I'm currently on vacation from my job, so I get to help out. So it's fun though. I mean, it's something that we do, and we enjoy spending time together. So
yeah, he's my biggest supporter. So this is my husband Brett, my son Jeremy, my niece Ashley, my son Alex, my son Ryan, Josh, who's basically an adopted son, and Sam, who is actually adopted daughter Ryan's girlfriend. And we're a Blockbuster family.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I haven't experienced a lot. It's vicariously through my wife, because she gets all the phone calls and the interviews and everything else. And then I get to hear about all the neat things that she gets to do. But it's pretty crazy that my wife, who I've known forever, is now this semi, celebrity somewhat. That people actually come into the store from around the world and they want an autograph or they want a picture with her or whatever. So that's really cool to me to see. She was a little overwhelmed with it at times, but it's a very a cool thing to see that happen. Somebody that deserves it in my mind.
Considers herself a Blockbuster mom because she's employed nearly every teenager in her hometown of Bend over the last 14 years. Sandi, how much has changed since you first started at Blockbuster?
All right, so when I started in 2004, Blockbuster Video had roughly 9,000 stores and over 60,000 employees, and now we have about 12 stores, and I would say with 12 stores, maybe a couple hundred employees.
From 9,000 stores down to 12. So what happened?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun time, and I mean, yes, there was the negativity, there was the late fees, there was all those other things, but there was so much family and positivity about being able to spend time together. I mean, everyone who comes to visit has a positive story about Blockbuster, the experience, and that's pretty magical.
And they're good people, and yeah, same thing. Fridays after I think it was middle school, my dad would take me to Blockbuster on Frederick Road or San Pedro, and the first place I go to horror section, get my 80s horrors, and I go to, at the time was Sega and Nintendo to rent those games, but the best memories, man, so yeah.
Well, still, that means you must be younger than me, because I remember before that when they didn't have games. And I remember when they didn't have games, it was just movies. Yeah. And we went to players, because not everybody had players.
I was born in 1979, so I grew up with Atari, and I had the whole tray of Atari games, and it kept me entertained, And then from Atari went to Nintendo, and then Sega CD, and so on and so on, Super NES. I remember going to Toys R Us and taking the slip out and going to get the game, and so great memories. I mean, you can't forget it,
And that's the thing. Like, some people, they don't understand that. It's one thing that you could see it now and you could play it now, and that's great. You get the game, like Pong, for instance.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're very familiar.
And I got at the house. I have my Atari with the two Pongs. So for the game.
But were you set to suffer as that's the only option?
Ooh,
that's a different story.
That's a different story for another time. Yeah.
When you grow up and that's the only option you have.
Yeah. And back then there was no HDMI. One click and you're good to go. No, you had your screwdriver. You had the prong with the two, the headset TV and AV, and switch it on your TV. Yeah.
And see, that's what retro is all about.
Yeah.
This is the first time meeting him, but we can sit down and we can have memories, we can connect, and it's all about the history that we have shared, even though we've never met before.
Yeah, right? we can do this until tomorrow. I mean.
But this is a wonderful event. We were glad to be out here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for you guys coming out.
We can't wait till the next one. You guys for the next one.
Most definitely.
That was fast.
Yeah, the first one was fast.
And that's going to be hopefully our next themed event in 2-3 months to come. So just keep watching, and we'll let you know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.